a plot reader, and I'm here with Seen It
Bam.
with and her cup,
Mm-hmm.
her mug, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
and you have your Candyman hook.
I do, and I have my bees
Oh my god, Seen It
and,
is always prepared.
and killer bees. You see what I'm saying on the swarm? Yes. Mm-hmm. I am.
All right, we have to make sure when some more people get in here that we tell them again what you got going on with Candyman.
Yeah, no
Uh,
problem.
movie pop up is going to be what's she say? 30 minutes late.
Something like that. Whenever she's done with other obligations.
Okay, cool. So I'm sure she's not too pressed about Candyman. So but
Yeah.
today we're going to talk about Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Seen It will do her uh, review and tell us about the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're getting to some black films that
Mm-hmm.
we would like to talk about as well. Um, and if you guys in the chat have anything, any black films as well, we'll probably just say what's your favorite, some of your favorite black films, and we can talk about those as well as
Mm-hmm.
the chat is going through. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. With that said, uh, Candyman.
Yes,
Oh,
Candyman, which
real
is
quick, you did talk
yeah.
about the first one two
Yes, I did.
weeks 2 weeks ago, and
Mm-hmm.
then last week you talked about the short story. It was a
Yeah. Well, I wasn't on last week, but
or the week before.
right. I talked about the short story, which is The Forbidden, that was written by Clive Barker, which is available on our YouTube and SoundCloud if anyone wants to listen to the short story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Want me to just dive into it?
Yeah, let's get let's get it
Okay.
started because I'm looking at it. And I'm getting my classic Wikipedia plot reader on at the same time.
Okay. All right. Well, this weekend.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Oh
Spoiler
yeah.
alert!
Oh yeah. It's going to be spoiled. Yeah. Thank you. Very spoilery. So the Candyman director, a young black woman, Nia DaCosta, she's about 31, 32 years old. She has become the first black female director to have a film debut in the top spot in the U.S. box office. Universal Pictures
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. First black woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
Yeah.
I thought
$22 million over the weekend.
I thought it happened before though.
Ava DuVernay, I'm probably
Yeah.
saying her name wrong. She's the first. I mean, she did that for
Netflix film.
the Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking about. That did well too.
Yeah, so that's in. Well, let me see, because that was a 3-day opening.
Okay.
But for a black female director to be number one opening weekend,
That's different.
that is Nia DaCosta.
Okay.
Yeah. And so DaCosta, she wrote this movie. She wrote it with Jordan Peele and Wynn Rosenfeld. And so, oh, snap. I thought we were about to listen to Portrait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That little bit was Portrait, wasn't it?
You know your music.
Trivia.
Yeah. Yeah, I hit it by accident.
Yeah.
I hit it by accident.
That's quite all right. I won movie trivia.
You good. You good.
Just that little bit. I impressed myself. Yeah. So, I mean, some of the differences between the 1992 version and this is straight up, black writers, black directors, black cast. So, I mean, we will be talking about black movies later, but this is also, we can consider this also a black movie.
Now, the first one, was that considered a black movie?
Yes. And the thing is, with that one back in 1992, we didn't have a whole lot of black horror films.
Okay.
Unless you count Blackula. And then it was Candyman. And then we had later, which was a great black horror movie and social commentary, Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood, yeah.
That was really good. So I watched that recently with my nieces, and still a lot of the topics that they brought up with the KKK, black on black crime.
I haven't seen it in so long. I didn't even look at it that way until you just said it, I guess.
Yeah, like even with Corbin Burnson I guess he was supposed to be portraying David Duke in The House on the Plantation,
right?
Calling the Black Dolls, Little Nigglins. I mean, some of it was like, it was funny, it was humorous, but it also had a social commentary with everything. Right. And I think that was pretty good. And it dealt with race, and Candyman did the same thing. The 1992 version.
The first one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with this one, So the movie starts in 1977 in Cabrini Green's projects. There's a young boy who goes into the laundry room. He hears a man humming and then watches as a man emerges from a hole in the wall with a hook in his hand. The boy screams and the police run inside. And we find out later in the movie that the little boy was this laundromat owner named Burke.
Okay.
But this just sets it up just to set up the legacy of Candyman, because in this movie we find out it's not just Daniel Robitaille, which is Tony Todd's character, the guy who fell in love with the white woman in the 1800s. So it's like a legacy of Black men who've been wrongly accused of crimes or unjustly, punished in general. And yeah, so it's basically it goes more into a legacy. So it's not just him; it's Candyman.
Gotcha.
Which is how the movie how it ultimately ends up.
Okay.
So with this one, then we cut pretty quickly to present day in Cabrini Green, which is now gentrified, which is really how it is. And then we meet Troy.
I'm here. We can't
Okay. No, it's no problem. His boyfriend Grady, and we also meet Troy's sister Brianna.
What's up, J Flicks?
Hey, J Flicks. Oh my gosh, no, we were here, we were ready. Troy's sister, Tiana Parrish, she's Monica Rambeau.
And she was in it?
Yeah, Monica Rambeau. She plays Brianna. She plays the girlfriend to Anthony, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. And was that Black Mantis? Yes, we're talking the newer Candyman, 2021, and they're going to be spoilers. So
Black Mantis was in it too.
Mm-hmm. Also Watchmen. Yeah. So they're the main. So we have DC and Marvel up in here, and so their new apartment is in a gentrified area. And then while they're there, Troy, which is Brianna's brother, he starts talking about urban legends from the area. And then Troy talks about a woman named Helen, and that's the lady from the first movie. So basically, when he's doing that, he's summing up the first Candyman. And so we talk about Helen was a student. She was doing her thesis on urban legends. She's looking for a story of what happened in Cabrini Green, but she went crazy. She kidnapped a baby to sacrifice in a bonfire before a mob took the baby back, and Helen walked into a bonfire and burned to death.
J Flick has a question about that.
Yeah, but that was not true. But that was the legend. That was the urban legend in this movie.
Okay.
What actually happened is Candyman took the baby to trick Helen. She came into the bonfire when she heard the baby cry. She saved the baby when all of the debris and everything was falling on her. So that's actually what happened.
In the first film.
Right. And so as this urban legend is being retold, Helen is seen as the bad guy. Okay. Yeah, J Plix, what is your question?
You can keep going because it's going to take
I'll wait for him to type it up. Okay.
Oh, there you go. So the brother's story was the movie legend. Burke was also the Cabrini Green legend.
No, Burke was also no, he wasn't, but Burke was there when he saw a guy named Sherman being unjustly arrested. Because this is the thing what happened with the Burke guy. 3 different there were many Candymen, because it wasn't until the end of the movie where they went through Daniel Robitaille, because he's like the original. They went through another person who I think somebody did him unjust as far as money or tried to swindle him, and they killed him anyway. A little boy who, I don't know, a white girl said that he stole something from her, and so he was electrocuted. That reminded me of like an Emmett Till sort of a story. So it was a little boy who was a Candyman too. But all of this was at the end of the movie where you saw each iteration of variations of Candyman.
Okay.
Candyman was a symbol of justice. Yes, I agree with that. That's what they were showing. So it was every time a Black man was wronged from the society, white police officers, because that's what happened with Sherman, then yeah, I agree with that. That's what they were depicting, a symbol of justice. And the thing that gets me is that this movie was actually, good evening, beauty for you. This movie was supposed to have been released, last year. And that was before everything that even happened, as far as the Black Lives Matter protests and George Floyd. Like, this was supposed to have been released, last year. So, I mean, I just feel like it's very timely, everything they brought up. Michelle Carter. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tiana Paris, she was great in this. I thought she was awesome in this. And so after like Anthony and Brianna, they learn about like this legend. Anthony ends up looking up the information that Troy was talking about, but he's doing it not knowing that he finds out later that he was the baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The Basement Candyman. Yeah, that was Sherman from the 1970s. Yeah. So in this movie, Anthony is an artist. He's a struggling artist. And Brianna, I think she's like a curator or an art dealer. And Anthony shows Clive. I like that they gave a little shout out to Clive Barker. Clive is like in charge of this sort of exhibit that Anthony is painting for. But what he currently has is not even a curator. Yeah. So what he has painted already isn't up to snuff for the exhibit. And so he decides to revisit what he learned the previous night from Troy, urban legends, Cabrini Green, let me go see what this is about, take some pictures. And that's what he ends up.
What's going on with for you?
So that's what he ends up doing.
Okay.
And so he hops the fence. He goes to take pictures of Cabrini, and then he's stung in his right hand by a bee. But we don't think anything of it. We keep going around. He's taking pictures. And that's when he meets what Jay Flicks mentioned, William Burke. He's in Fear the Walking Dead. And they get to talking, and Anthony tells him he's doing all this research. They walk back to his laundry.
The black guy in Fear the Walking Dead?
He was in, I didn't watch all the seasons, but he was in the first season. He had a boat, the black man with a boat.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
That's
all right. Jay Flicks has a question.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, so you were saying he got stung by the... Okay, never mind. Here comes the question.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, it's like, I'm thinking it's like the projects in Baltimore. Like, it's like not all the projects are gone. Some are gone, and then they built up, all the condos and all the different housing there. Because there's still some areas that have the projects and stuff. The thing is, I was thinking that Burke was, the question is, why was Burke and Cabrini Green if it was closed up? I'm thinking it was just a quick way to get to his laundromat. He may have just like hopped the fence, not to walk around it.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
I'm totally assuming. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just to cut through. Yeah. So just that's what I assumed that he was doing to get to his place. Yeah. And so
you said he got stung by the bee.
Yeah. And so get back to the laundromat, and then Burke continues to tell Anthony about how Cabrini Green didn't used to have such a large police presence until more white people started moving in. So he's talking about gentrification. And then Burke tells Anthony about the neighborhood's legend of Candyman. He's a figure of terror. And so for Burke, he was introduced to Candyman. I kind of brought this up. This is the opening scene of the movie with Sherman Fields. He used to hand out candy to kids. And then when a white girl found a razor blade in her Halloween candy, Sherman was the prime suspect. So Burke unwittingly let the police find Sherman after he screamed and police brutally beat Sherman to death until he was unrecognizable. And then more razor blades were still showing up in candy. And then everyone realized too late that Sherman was innocent. So basically, Anthony learns at that point that if you look in the mirror and say Candyman's name 5 times, he will appear and claim his victim. So later that night, Anthony tells Brianna about everything he learned, and Anthony says Candyman 5 times. And then Brittany, whole time Brianna's like, "No, nigga, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not saying it because Brianna didn't say it, but Anthony did. So the next night or next few nights, so now we're at the exhibit and Anthony's display. It's the medicine cabinet mirror, like from the first Candyman. I mean, it was a big thing about the mirror and the medicine cabinet. So that's what he had. And then he had like a bunch of photos behind. So you open up the medicine cabinet and you look in there and you see all of his different, all the different photos that he created. And the thing is, like, nobody was getting his creation. He
Gotcha.
even like dared people to say Candyman 5 times and to look into the mirror. He had one art critic who wasn't feeling what he was doing, and that was somebody who was trying to impress. Another person said something else bad about it, and so he went off and he got drunk.
Gotcha.
And he overhears Clive saying that the only reason that Anthony is in the gallery is because of his girlfriend, Brianna. So they leave. But later that night, Clive and his girlfriend, they're cleaning up. And then the girlfriend asks about Anthony's piece. And then she says Candyman 5 times while kissing Clive and everything. And then after a few seconds, Candyman appears in a reflection. But the thing is, he slashes the girl's throat. And Clive is like, what's going on? He can't see anything. But then he looks in the mirror and he sees Candyman in the mirror, but he's cutting, like there's a film projector or something. That's another like art exhibit, but you see him cutting in the mirror, but the film, everything is perfectly intact in the real world. So, and this is in the preview where Clive goes to leave out of the gallery, and his like body is lifted up and he's taken and his face falls down and his bloody is then dragged back. And so that is when Candyman kills him as well. And then the next morning, that's when Brianna goes into the gallery and she finds Clive and the girlfriend's dead bodies. His mom, yeah, she don't even want him to say his name, like not even a little bit, even if you're not in front of a mirror. And then it's so weird because with the news report the next day, they're talking about the bodies that were found in the gallery in front of Anthony's display. And Anthony's dazed. He has like milky eyes. And I mean, he's saying he's happy he got mentioned. And Brianna and her brother are like, what are you talking about? 2 people just died. He's like, yeah, I know the murders are bad too. And then he's trying to hide like his smirk because he was just so happy that he was mentioned on TV. So, I mean, from this news report, those people dying in front of his exhibit, he actually starts to get a little bit more popular. And I took that to mean like people are starting to recognize him, recognize his name, because they mentioned Anthony's name in his exhibit and the people who were murdered in front of it.
Oh, okay.
And still during this time, like the beast thing is starting to look like it's getting infected. And it's starting to pus over. He's picking at it and he's not really sure what's going on. So he ends up like trying to wrap it at some point. So he ends up going to one of the art critics. He goes to her house because, again, everybody is on his stuff about him now since like his art is being discussed on the news. And, you know, he dares her to say, I mean, they talk about gentrification and stuff. And then he dares her to say Candyman in the mirror. She goes to the bathroom. I don't think as an audience we see her say it. We assume later because of what happens. But while she's in the bathroom, Anthony goes in the hallway. And this is in one of the previews. It's when he's looking at himself in the mirror and it's not him. So what he's seeing is the Sherman version of Candyman. And so everything that he's doing, the mirror is mimicking down to the hook in his hand. Where right. Bandage, I guess it's the right hand.
Do you see the hook, J Flix? You see the hook? You see the hook, J Flix?
And the bees. I was trying to so I know the difference.
She has bees, J Flix, and you see the shirt. You see the shirt, right, J Flix?
On the swarm. It ain't safe no more. Yeah. So so he is like freaking out because of the reflection that's there. And then the woman comes out of the bathroom like, what's wrong? And he's just like, I gotta go. And he leaves. I thought this was the slickest thing. When he leaves, the woman, she's in her living room. She's hoisted yeets. She's yeeted up. And as we're seeing this, the camera is backing away and you see her being dragged side to side in this like high-rise building. And that's how we see that death. That's another thing in this movie. These deaths are not, I think the first death is the most vivid. Everything else, like in the preview, those young girls in the bathroom, you see it from the point of view of a makeup compactor. A makeup mirror. You don't see it like right in front of you, like with the first murder. Everything else is more to the imagination, which I liked. But that backing up while the murder is happening, as you're getting further and further away from the building, I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
So yeah, she's gone. Anthony, I don't know if we know about it yet, but still, during this time, Anthony continues to do the research. So he's going to the library. He even gets a tape cassette from Helen from the first movie and listening to her. It's really voiced by Virginia Madsen, who played Helen in the first movie. And she's detailing everything that she saw as far as all of the murals and the paintings and all of the different urban legends and that she learned while she was investigating this for her thesis. So Anthony gets into an elevator, nothing but mirrors, of course, a number of mirrors. And then he hears a piece of candy drop. He picks up the piece of candy. The piece of candy has a razor blade in it. And then the Sherman, I'm about to call him a Sherman Hensley, but the Sherman version of Candyman comes for him. He gets, oh no. And then the elevator doors open up and it's like nobody is there. Still his hand is it's getting worse. It's kind of like eating at him. And at this point, it's starting to eat where you can see lesions or something on his face. I'm thinking they're like little holes. I don't know if they're supposed to resemble honeycombs, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what's happening to his face now. And so he continues to visit Burke just because he's doing all this research. And now he's like, well, I don't even understand what's going on. And let me see. So Anthony, he starts talking about how his paintings now are of Candyman's victims are in his artwork, and also the different, just the Candymans. The Candymans, yeah, well, all the candy, yeah. So Burke explains that Candyman represents many victims of racial injustice, but the earliest example goes back to the 1800s, and that's Tony Todd's character, Daniel Robital. And he worked as an artist for the White family, where he and the eldest daughter fell in love with each other. She got pregnant. Her father found out, sent a mob after him, leading them to torture him, severing his hand, covering him in honey to attract bees, and then setting him on fire. So he explains that story to him. And then there are other subplots, but I'm not going to go into that because I don't think that adds to the story about Brianna and stuff. So, but Brianna sees Anthony's paintings and she expresses some concern. I mean, because again, he's doing all of these victims painting and he's doing all of the Candymen. He has self-portraits of all of them. And so when she tries to say, she wants to convince him, he's not real. And she tries to say Candyman's name. And Anthony does get physical. I don't know I think he pushes her, but then he also throws something against the mirror to break it so that she cannot say his name. And so she's just like, oh no, I don't play these games. And so she left. She went to her brother's house. And while she was at her brother's house, this was so funny. His boyfriend, I think his boyfriend was European or Jewish or something like that. He's like, we should go into the bathroom and say the name. It's like, no, Black people don't do that. So yeah, none of the Black people say the name at that point to summon Candyman. And then I'm not even going to talk about the prep school girls. I kind of touched on that. Most of what happens to them is shown in the preview. And the thing is, how that even happened is one of those prep school girls. She was at that art exhibit, and that's how she knew to say the name 3 times. And so then that also gets on the news about those girls. So by this time, Anthony's arm is effed up. He goes to the hospital to find out what's up. He finds out that the hospital where he went to, which is by Cabrini Green, has his hospital records. Like, oh, I wasn't born here. He's like, yeah, you were. He's like, no. So he goes to his mom's house. And they talk about, the hospital, which turns into Cabrini Green, which turns into Candyman. He realizes then that he was the baby, and he was the baby that was taken decades earlier. And then Anne-Marie talks about how Helen saved him from Candyman. And apparently Candyman had picked him to like take up the mantle, I guess, for Candyman. Yeah, he pushes her away from the mirror. Okay. And then he breaks the mirror. Right. The cinematography in this movie is awesome. Definitely. So this director, Nia, she's pretty good in this. I definitely agree with that. So even like this was in the preview when he was about to say Candyman, she's like, shh, no, she didn't even want to hear that name in her house. But it looks like she was actually trying to protect Anthony so that the legend wouldn't come back up. If you don't say the name, then maybe Candyman won't find him. But that didn't work because this movie shows that he did find him. And let me see. So, okay, Brianna and Troy, they go to the place to get their things. They find out that Anthony isn't there. So Brianna remembers him talking about Burke. So she goes to the laundromat. And I thought this was funny. And so when she's looking for him, she sees like a basement. And she's like, she's about to go in the basement. She's like, nope. She doesn't go in the basement. And then Jordan Peele has a movie coming out, a horror movie called Nope. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear that.
So he has something called Nope, because that is what we say. Because even in the movie theater, when I was watching this, I was just like, nope. And then that's exactly what she said.
Right.
And so she doesn't find him there. But this is the weirdest thing. Burke kidnaps her, takes her to the church. That's where Anthony is. And he is all messed up. His body is just so decayed at this point. And Burke chops off his hand and puts the hook on it. So Burke, I don't know where this came from. This came out of left field. I don't know if Jay Flicks, if you could see this coming. I guess he was trying to help Candyman continue with the legacy of finding a new successor, because his current successor, I think, was Sherman. There hadn't been a new one, and it was supposed to have been Anthony. So I guess Burke was like his, not apprentice, but
like a pawn.
Maybe he was hypnotized by him. So I didn't understand that part. So at this point, Anthony now has the hook in his hand, and Brianna is able to escape from her binding. She uses like a pin, and she runs away. She ends up, and Burke finds her. She ends up stabbing him. It's like, die. No, she kept doing it. She didn't stop. Stabbing Burke. And then Anthony comes in.
What's up, K2 Hoot?
Hey. And then Anthony comes in and like, he's just like distraught. And at this time, Burke had also called the police. Oh my gosh, he has a hook in his hand and he's killing everybody. And so the police are on their way. So while we're still in this abandoned building, Brianna has stabbed Burke. She's with Anthony. Anthony is laying down. He is out of it at this point. He's still alive, but his hand was just sawed off. And then the policeman came in. And yes, we are. Yeah. And so, the policeman came in and just shot him without asking any questions. So Anthony's dead. That's how that happened. And then they took the policeman. I took her to the police van, and they were telling her, this is what your story is going to be. You're either Anthony's going to be the culprit for these murders, or you're going to be the accomplice. And she was like, okay, can I just have one request? Can I see myself in the mirror? And she says Candyman's name 5 times, but this time it summons Anthony. So Anthony takes out all of the police officers.
As Candyman?
As Candyman, yep.
So he looked different, or he looked the same?
He looked the same. He just had a lot of bees. He had a lot of bees around him. And the thing is you can see him morph I guess, to each version of Candyman as he's walking around the car. And then he kills like the last police officer. And when he does that, his face actually turns into Tony Todd's face. And I think, I can't forget what he says, like, remember me, not remember me, or tell them. That's what he says to Brianna.
That's what the new Candyman said.
Right. So it was so weird because it morphed into Tony Todd. So I guess when it's Candyman, it could be anybody. It could be Sherman, could be Tony Todd, it could be Anthony. They're all one unit, maybe. I don't know. So that was how it ended.
Okay, to who? We don't need it. We don't need no more bees.
Oh, got it. Bzz. Yes.
No bees. No.
I don't know why I did, but yeah. So I enjoyed it. It got a little, what's happening at the end? I didn't totally understand Burke's role. Maybe if we got a little bit more backstory on him.
It didn't set you up for a 3.
Hmm.
It didn't set you up for a part 3.
It could have. It's open ended because Anthony is still he is now Candyman, so it possibly could be. I don't know. I know that there is this professor from UCLA. I hope I'm saying her name right. Tana Veridu. She's also a film historian. She is an expert in Black horror. She teaches The Sunken Place, Racism, Survival, and the Black horror aesthetic. I would take that course if I was at UCLA. If she offered it online, I'd take it. I think that's very interesting. She was actually doing an interview with some other guy. This was years ago. When she was talking about Candyman, she's like, but why did he kill Bernadette, the Black character, in 1992?
Right.
She wanted to know why. She's like, she didn't say it 5 times, and she's Black, and he's Black. Yeah, no Black people died in this except for Anthony, but that was so that he could become Candyman. No Black people died. No other Black people. The Sunken Place. I want to take the whatever class this is, or like what do you call audit it? I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that was Candyman. Oh yeah, Burke died. I'm sorry, but not at the hand of Candyman. That was all Brianna. Brianna took him out. Yeah, she kept stabbing. So yeah, that was it. I give it a 7. I thought it was.
Jay gave it a 7 too.
Yeah, it just towards the end, it wasn't real clear what was going on. It felt kind of rushed. Like, okay, let's wrap it up. And
did you see it, Katie Hoop?
I didn't even realize how long it was. Yes, it was like tell everyone. Yeah,
how long was it?
It
was like a 2-hour movie.
It may have been. I totally lost track of time. Because I'm wondering why I kind of had to wrap up kind of quickly at that point.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. Maybe it was really long. I don't know. But I still enjoyed it. It was so cool.
So is it something that you will watch the part 1 and dive right into part 2?
Yeah, because the mom was the same woman who played Anne Marie back in 1992 was the mama from this. And then you had Anthony as a grown-up. It's definitely a continuation. Okay. And you still have Helen being mentioned. Now she's an urban legend. Right. And it was so crazy because that was what her thesis was on. So I think so.
So the movie had a $25 million budget, and they already made $29.1 million so far. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely made this money back. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's good. That's good if they want to do another one. And then you said that she is the first Black director to have a #1 film.
Yes, Black female director, #1 out the gate. Yes. And then Ava DuVernay is hers was she wasn't #1, but she made a lot of money, but she wasn't #1. That's the only difference between the two. Ava DuVernay's French last name made a lot of money off of A Wrinkle in Time.
So the next movie that she's going to do is The Marvels. So she's doing the Marvel movie, which is pretty big for her.
I And I think that's
next year, the 20,
and that's awesome.
and it's going to have Captain Brie Larson, and then the girl that you just
Tiana Parrott.
yep,
Tiana
Tiana's going to be in
Parrott.
it too.
Yeah. Monica
So
Rambeau. Yeah.
Monica Rambeau, right? So that should be
Okay.
pretty cool with her directing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she is very good and very young. I'm loving that these young black directors like Ryan Coogler,
Right.
like how
It's
they're.
only been two black directors so far in the Marvel universe that I know of.
Yeah, I think you're right because I think Taika Waititi,
Yeah,
he's not black, but he's
he's minority. Yeah.
yeah, he's minority. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not sure who's directing Shang. Let me check that out right now. But I
Which
know it was a female that did Black Widow.
it was a female. Yeah. Yes, it was. Yep. And I'm always impressed when women can really hone in on like action scenes.
Right.
I like that. I like that.
And like I said, to me, it was okay. It's somebody named. Oh, it is a minority. He's agent doing.
Oh, you talk about the 10 Rings?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a Asian director,
Right.
Asian writer, Asian. Yeah, that's straight.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to see that Thursday. I got to see it.
Yeah, I'll probably go see it. Actually, I think Thursday. No, I can't see it Thursday, but maybe Friday. Maybe Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely this weekend, and we can hopefully talk about that next week.
I like that that Hollywood is recognizing that based on the characters that are being depicted on screen, you need directing. You need directing. Yeah, the whole thing is Asian. You need like the proper people behind with the writing and everything, because that's what happened with the first Purge. Right. It was, with Mexicans and stuff like that. And you had a Mexican director, you had Mexican writers, you had someone that could speak to that voice.
It was ever a black director for The Purge?
No. No.
But one of them did focus on a black family, though.
They did. That guy from the Issa Rae show. He was in that, and I forgot which Purge that was, and I can't speak to the who directed or wrote it, but I can speak to because we just talked about the Forever Purge,
right?
So I knew that was Mexican straight up, all down the line, Hispanic. Mm-hmm.
Oh, K2 Hoop said, yeah, he was Hispanic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have to have whoever is on screen. Please have people write for them and direct.
Yeah, don't do like that. That movie with the Egyptian people.
Oh, which one? It's
been a couple of them. You're right.
So many, yeah. So I like that they're doing that now.
The one that had Chadwick in it. Chadwick, but I forgot what the name of that one was.
And it had Egyptians in it?
Yeah, they were like gods.
Gods and monsters?
No, but it had Chadwick in it. It had the guy with the one arm from what's the HBO show that we all like? The main HBO show that had his arm cut off. He was Jamie. Jamie was in it too.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but Jamie was in the movie too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm gonna look
it up. Is it called the Ten Commandments? Is it called the Bible Story? Wait a minute, is there a movie really called the Bible Story?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
All right.
I mean, the Bible. It's called The Gods of Egypt.
I don't think I saw that one.
Gods of Egypt came out in 2016. It had Chadwick in it, and Nicholas Coster, Gerald Butler was in it. Chadwick was in it. There's a lot of names in it, but it was just they were Egyptian, but they were played by white people.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why it didn't do well at all. Like the movie itself actually wasn't that bad as far as like the cinematology, all the graphics and stuff like that. The computer animation wasn't bad.
Hold up, but, is this the movie that could have also been a horror movie because it was scary?
No, it wasn't scary at all. It was like based on like Zeus. It was like Zeus and all them. But Gods of Egypt.
I'm thinking of another Bible story that had a bunch of white people in it, but it was almost like a horror movie because like the burning bush was like angry.
I never seen no horror. I don't think I want to see a horror movie.
I think it was I thought it was a Bible horror movie.
Nah, James, what's she talking about?
I think it was. No, continue because I know you wanted to talk about additional black
Well, I
movies
mean, we
today,
good. I mean,
but
we take this podcast wherever it goes,
I
especially
need
with
to I need to know
movie
about
pop
that
up not
Bible
here.
movie.
All right, that's we can look into it.
Okay.
But yeah, we got the 10 rings coming up this weekend, so I'm definitely
Mhm.
excited for that.
Mhm.
Um, and then we got What If Part Two coming out tomorrow. We didn't talk about the last What If, but we can wait for movie pop up.
Mm, yeah, did y'all talk about that
No,
last
we didn't
week?
talk about we no because we didn't, that was Wednesday, so we didn't have a podcast. So we'll wait till next week to talk about both episodes, these last two episodes of
Oh,
What If.
yeah, that's totally fine because
And we could probably do a whole Marvel talk about
oh,
What If and then talk about Shang-Chi too.
I got you. Because last week was on the murder mystery. And so tomorrow
Yeah,
I think is Doctor Strange, which I think may tie into Spider-Man, but that's a whole nother thing because I could
right.
definitely talk
So
about that.
next
Oh, my
week
bad.
we'll do a whole Marvel podcast next week and just talk
Okay.
about Shang-Chi and What If.
So Mel get oh, I heard about his Passion of the Christ. Like it was so bloody. I'm thinking about another horror movie though, because
Yeah, I don't look at that as a horror.
The Passion of the Christ,
As a horror movie?
it's a lot of death.
I mean, yeah,
And
but
it was very violent.
I mean, it's a lot of depth in the Matrix, but it's not the.
That's a good question. Is The
It's a lot.
Passion of the Christ a horror movie? I
It's
think
a.
that's
It's
a
a.
very good question because it fits the elements.
It's a lot of depth in the Matrix.
Who
It's not
died
a
in the
horror
Matrix?
movie.
Did they die in the Matrix or did they die in their pods?
So either way, they
No.
die.
So Casey Hoop said it was bloody but not horror. Okay. Okay.
Rambo was bloody. Bloody as I don't know what, but it's not considered a
Was
horror
it as
movie.
bloody? Was it as bloody as Passion of the Christ?
Rambo was pretty bloody. Did you see the last Rambo?
I did not see the last Rambo.
Yeah,
I have to say.
he was decapitating people. His arms were coming off. It was bloody.
Oh, I don't want to see that. I'm good.
Rambo went in on this one. His old 82-year-old self
Ooh,
went in.
but he was so good as the shark in Suicide Squad. So
That was Sylvester Stallone.
yeah, he voiced the shark.
Really?
I thought you knew that. You know all
Yeah.
the Wikipedia plot read stuff.
You're right, but I didn't. I actually didn't pick up on that. I didn't know that. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
Jay Flick said it was
Oh,
it was exaggerated.
well, he's gonna be. I presume he's gonna be in the next Expendables.
They're doing another one?
4. Yeah, 50 Cent is supposed to be in it.
Oh my god! All right, we can
So,
move on from that.
okay, sorry. Let's.
I am watching
carry
Power
on.
though. I am watching Kanan.
How is that so far? I have not started that show.
I was worried it was going to be Get Rich or Die Trying, the TV show, but
Mhm,
it's actually not bad. I
mhm.
mean, you already kind of know stuff, but you get hooked on his family pretty early after the first episode.
On Kanan's family.
Yeah, because he didn't grow up, no spoilers, but he didn't grow up as what he is right away. His family was doing drugs, but he wasn't not doing selling drugs, but he wasn't like selling it right away. So he had a promise, and he could have been something different.
He could have been somebody. Okay.
Yes, but his family is like his mother's like a kingpin on one part of New York, and the Queens part, I think, Jamaica Queens.
So did they? Go ahead.
So you just meeting the family and her brothers and seeing all of the stuff in the early 90s, and you just want to know, okay, what happened to them. So now that's why I'm like intrigued. Like I already know what's going to happen to him. But I want to know what happens to them that helps to push him to where he gets to. Because in the TV show, he's only 15. And the TV and the show you watched, he probably damn near 40. So it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time in between that.
Okay. Yeah,
So
because he's a little ruthless now. Because if for him to even have spoilers, killed his son, yeah, he just became a different man. So you saw him going down one path, which was good. He was getting good grades. He was part of the mathletes, stuff like that.
Yeah, he's yeah. I mean, like the first episode, you could tell that he but he wants to help his mom out. So he wants to be part of the group, the gang.
Okay.
He wants to help out.
Okay.
So She doesn't want him to be in it, of course, so she's trying her best to keep him out of it. But as you already know, he's not going to be able to stay out of it.
Right. Okay.
So it's not. It's not. It's. I don't think it's slow in the first 2 episodes, but it grabbed me. I wasn't too pressed about it, but I said, let me start watching it. So
I might start. I might start watching it.
did you watch the last one with Tariq?
I did.
Okay. Did you like that story? Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, I agree. I probably will watch the next season of it, but I do want to see Tommy. I'm waiting for Tommy.
Oh, Tommy's coming out?
Yeah, he's getting his own show. He's in California now.
He is in California. Okay. I will watch Tommy. I like him.
Because I like him too. Yeah. And he's always doing something crazy. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And the horror movie was Exodus, Gods and Kings. Did anybody see that?
Exodus, Gods and Kings. K2 Hoop said you didn't like it. K2 Hoop, you're talking about you didn't like Power Book 2?
So this is the movie that was a horror movie to me.
It's called Exodus, Gods and Kings?
Yeah. Yes. Joel Edgerton. So I was just like, who was in this? I think is this Christian Bale? This might be Christian Bale.
And was that whitewash too?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is from 2014. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. I remember seeing this and I was like, this is cool. But yeah, that's
okay. K2 Power Book 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So to you that was a horror.
The Exodus. Yeah. Exodus.
Yeah. K2 Hoop says she saw it. What you think, K2 Hoop? You it felt like a horror movie to you too?
I thought the burning bush was angry.
Did the burning bush kill people?
I feel like it did. Or the burning bush pretended to be a kid and then kill somebody. I could be making this up because it's been so long, but I remember when I thought it's like, this is supposed to be a biblical. I mean, I don't think this is like real whatever they're doing, but it takes place in Egypt and yeah, it's white people.
Okay. Well, we was going to talk about before we got out of here, some classic black films that we just wanted to talk about. Movie Pop-Up was supposed to be here by now, so she had some movies she wanted to talk about. So we'll probably push that to the week after.
No, but we talked about
Candyman.
And then we talked a little bit about Tales in the Hood. And that was a classic. I guess that's considered a classic now.
You know how we can close this out? Since we can talk about black films, we can talk about Chadwick. So rest in peace. It's 1 year from the day of his death was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
If you're watching the Marvel What If series, that is his last work.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it more. I was watching with Savannah, my 10-year-old. So I was trying to explain to her that this was his last work. She really wasn't grasping it the same way I was grasping it, but it was like, this is it. I'm trying to explain to her, like, we're not getting no more Chadwick after this. Like, no more stuff that we never seen. Mm-hmm. Unless they put like a documentary out or something with like behind the scenes or something like that. Mm-hmm. But this is his last work. So I'm actually glad to see every time I watch something now with him on it, it gives you like a whole different, meaning and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't until after his death that I was just like, I want to watch everything. So last year was when I binged his movies because for some reason I didn't watch them all, but I mean, at the time that they were released, but Get On is the James Brown, is that called Get On Up?
Yep. Get On.
My God,
that was good.
Amazing.
He should have been nominated for something for that. That movie was good. And if you're not a James Brown fan or you don't know a lot about James Brown, that's a great movie to watch.
I definitely agree. Yeah.
I did not watch the one with him as the Supreme Justice.
Oh, Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah,
okay.
That one I did not see.
Okay.
So I need to watch that one.
Yeah, he is just amazing.
Yeah, 42. Diva 929. What's going on, sis?
Diva 929. Hey.
So you've seen them all then?
I've seen most of them because he's done other stuff that I still haven't seen.
Okay. Well,
he's done a lot of movies. He's done a lot of great work. Like there was one. Why can I not think of her name? How Do You Get Away with Murder? It's escaping me right now.
Diva, we talked about Candyman already, so don't worry
Mhm.
about the spoilers. We
Oh
talked about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um,
What's her
she
name?
we're just talking about some Chadwick before we get out of here. Next week, Diva,
Yeah.
we'll talk about What If, the last two episodes, the one come out tomorrow, and then we're going to talk about Shang-Chi next week as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know I'm gonna Viola Davis. Thank you so much. Because I think he was in a movie with Viola Davis. Thank you so much, Diva 99. Because I could not think of her name. But yeah, I think he was in a movie with him and Denzel Washington. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I did not see that one where it takes place in like one room. I hope that was. I'm not even 100%. Let me stop talking because I'm not even 100% sure if he was in
Real
that.
quick, let me run down some of his movies. All right, we
Mhm.
all seen Black Panther.
Mhm.
Mrs. Randy's Black Bottom,
Did not see that.
that came out last year.
Okay.
So that was the one with him and um, that's the one you're talking about.
That's the one I didn't see.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
21 Bridges. I did not see 21 Bridges.
I saw first part of it, and I watched it because it has the Russo brothers and him.
Right. It
So I was like,
came out. It
oh,
came out after Infinity Wars or the Endgame
one of
came
those.
out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
hmm
42, which we most of us all seen. Get
hmm
On Up.
Yep.
Of course, Captain America, all the Avengers,
Yep.
Guards of Egypt. Like I told you,
He was
is
in that too.
that's what I was saying. He was in that movie. He has a good part of a good role in the movie too.
I
Not
gotta
a big
watch
one.
it. All right.
The
Okay.
five Bloods on Netflix. I seen
Yes,
that.
I saw that. Yeah.
Message from the King.
No.
Marshall is the one I did not see.
Okay.
He was in Draft Day.
What?
The Express about the football player.
Nope. I got some watching to do.
Some movie called The Kill Hole. I never seen that.
Like Ho.
No, like Hole Hole. Another movie called Nine Kisses, and another movie called Heaven.
hmm
And then yeah, I've never seen none of these movies. So,
hmm
but these are early movies too. 2012.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, message.
Mhm.
So Jay Flick said message from the King. He gives that 4 out of 5 stars. So I might have
Mhm.
checked that one out.
Mhm.
And I know there's some people on Twitch. I know Lex Diamonds and some other people who told me that they knew him because of from college. They went to
From Howard.
they went to Howard with him.
Yeah.
So and
Okay.
he's around our age.
hmm
So it kind of hit them hard. That yes or Saturday as well too because a lot of people didn't know him as
hmm
well personally. So that's pretty deep. But
Okay.
yeah, again, salute to him. Rest in peace to him, and
hmm
prayers again for his family and stuff.
hmm
Because it definitely was a death that we did not see coming.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so next week we'll do all Marvel,
hmm
and then we can get into more Black films after that if we want.
Okay.
If it's nothing else to talk about, you have anything else?
Nope. I don't.
Oh yeah, so I'll let her as I look for a raid real quick.
Okay.
Show you guys everything she has. Candyman, Diva.
Oh my god. I
Look
feel
at
like
look at
I've
look at seeing it. Look
See,
at
this is
seeing it.
the thing. Okay, so I had this killer bees, and so I had like all these bees. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? Well, now they're actually thumbtacks, and so I guess I'm just gonna start using them to put stuff up. It's like so many of them. I don't know. Anybody want some bees? I'm sure you have for thumbtacks, post stuff up on cork boards. So I'm just gonna use them, and they're cute too. So yep, and I got my hook. So when I decorate for Halloween, because I'm really into that,
You're all good.
I'm gonna have a Candyman section. So I will be doing that.
she is all set, Diva. She all set.
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't watch Candyman. I read Candyman because
Mm-hmm.
real men read.
We can do a scary movie marathon.
See, real men will read the scary movie marathon, not go to the scary movie marathon.
It's not even that bad. And the thing is, it's like people just like, you're gonna I gotta bring this up. So in Chicago, Universal Studios, they did a Candyman experience. And so people will go into a mirrored booth and say Candyman 5 times, and then up would come Candyman. That is so awesome. If they had that here, I would have done that here. It looked like the people were having so much fun. It was like a ride. So it's like on YouTube if you go to Universal Studios, because they were doing so much promotion for Candyman.
We're gonna raid Relly Rel. He's doing neo soul vibes.
Very cool. Oh,
did I hit the button again? God,
you did.
That's my
That was our going out song. That's cool.
So appreciate you guys. Thank you. J Flicks, beauty for you. K2 Hoop, boo to the
everybody.
Weather. Diva 929. We will see you guys in these Twitch streets and next week. Yeah, I'm not never saying that man's name. Y'all can. I'll say Snickers all day long.
We say Beetlejuice. I don't see Michael Keaton anywhere. All right.
Well, you keep doing it. I'm gonna say M&M's, and give me some candy.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right. Good night. Thanks, guys.
Peace out. All right, I raid over. You can end it.
Okay.